Probably. All right. Beard Summit is live. BFAT USA.
This is going to be brutal.
We just got a couple of DEXA body scans, and Colleen here is going to walk us through our results.
Hi.
And yeah, we're about to tell the world exactly how fat we are.
How crappy of shape we're in.
All right.
All right, you guys ready?
Take it away, Colleen.
All right. So the first thing the DEXA does is give you a weight based on mass. So if you look at your reports, your scale weight is here, your weight and mass is here. So the reason that the DEXA uses mass instead of scale weight is mass is a constant number, scale weight's a gravity dependent number. So if I were to transport both of you to Mars right this second, your scale weight would be significantly lower.
Mm-hmm.
Mass would be exactly the same.
Gotcha.
It wouldn't change. So under your total mass is your lean mass, and then down below that is your fat mass.
Whoa!
Now, the
34.6 pounds.
I got you beat.
so that's why you do a DEXA, because it's hard to tell from looking at people, right?
Uh-huh.
So the tissue percentage of fat is not your body fat percentage. That is just a comparison of fat mass to lean mass with no bone in the calculation.
Okay.
So your body fat percentage will be slightly lower, but just about 1%. So know that. It's not going to drop significantly, but it'll be a little bit lower.
Okay.
Under that on the report is BMI. BMI has absolutely nothing to do with the scan. It just takes your scale weight and height and loads it into the standard formula. We think it's a really bogus measurement, so don't pay attention to it. Do you want to know why it's bogus?
Please,
Or do you
sure.
already know? All right. BMI doesn't differentiate between fat and muscle. So if I take you and two other people, your exact same height and weight, and one is at 10% body fat, and there's you're going to be at about 40%, and the other person's at 60%, you all have the exact same BMI.
Mhm.
You are not at all at the exact same level of health.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's why we don't care about BMI.
Cool.
Your android-gynoid ratio we do care about. That's a comparison of your waist fat, that's your android area, so all around the middle, to your gynoid fat, that's your hips and thighs. By gender line, most men carry their fat in their android area, and both of you do. The problem with that is the more android fat you have, the more visceral fat you have, and that's the fat that kills. So you want that ratio to be less than 1. So health-wise, that's what you're aiming for, is to get that number under 1 if possible. It's hard for men to get it under 1, but the closer to 1, the better.
Steve, you're gonna die.
Under that, yeah. Under that is your overall bone density. So the blue area is the acceptable range for your age and sex. You are the black dot in the green up above, so you both have good bone density. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
I know.
go.
You got it to
We did-
all the
we're
news
taking the
you can go.
victories.
That's
We did
exactly it.
one thing right.
Our bones are kick ass.
All right. The resting metabolic rate is, again, a formula number. It took your scale weight, your height, your age, and loaded it into the standard formula. If you are going to use diet as part of your fitness plan, we do the real resting metabolic rate, which will tell you what your actual calorie burn is, as opposed to the average of everyone, your height, weight, and age. Under that is your relative skeletal muscle index. That's a measure of how much muscle you have in your arms and legs to support your bones. That's important because when you fall or you're in an impact accident like a car wreck, whether or not your bones break is dependent both on bone density and that muscle strength. If you don't have enough muscle to keep your bones in the right position, your bones are going to break even if you had awesome bone density. So men are shooting for a number above 7.26.
There we go.
So you both have good numbers there.
Sweet.
So that's another good one to celebrate.
Yay.
Next page is
Muscles.
just a tracking page for you, so we're going to skip past it.
Oh, Jesus.
Then the next page is the first of 3 comparison pages in the report. And since this is your first DEXA, there's nothing to compare, so it just has your picture. Bone is white.
So that's what Steve looks like, really naked.
Without skin. Yes, that is as naked as you can be. Bone is white, lean is green, and fat is red. All right?
Perverts.
All right. So if you test more frequently, page will start looking like this.
Mhm.
Every time you scan, it'll add a picture. If you've scanned more than 6 times, it'll always have your baseline. So this picture will be here no matter how many times you test. And then the 5 most current ones. Down below, it'll give you the dates of the test, changes in
awesome.
total mass in blue, fat mass in red, and lean mass in green. And for all 3 categories, it gives you the change both from the previous test and from the baseline. So you can see for fat, for example, Milt was down 1/10 of a pound from his last test, but up 3.9 pounds since his first DEXA. Then it's going to graph every test you've taken, not just the 6 it shows, and show you what your total mass, your fat mass, and your lean mass have been doing.
Gotcha.
So for you guys right now, you just have the 1 line of data for today, and then sort of random dot points. But as you test more, it'll start filling all of that in for you.
Awesome.
Under that, the next page, it just takes that big number on the first page and breaks it down by body part for you. So it's going to give you your fat mass in red and your lean mass in green for your right arm, right leg, left leg, your trunk, which is everything from your shoulders to your hips. So everything in that area is all trunk. The android is this area specifically. So it's a subset of the trunk.
Which area was that?
I'll show you on yours. It's just this little area right here. Yep.
Okay.
That's
The
the
love-
android.
the love handles.
The love handles,
Right.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So that measurement is included in the trunk measurement, but then it breaks it out for you separately as the android too. The gynoid is everything that's within that triangle under the trunk that I just showed you. If you can see that little triangle,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the gynoid. And that's all included in the leg measurements. Okay, so the android and gynoid are duplicated in other measurements.
Gotcha.
Now we're going to look at muscle imbalances. So most of us are not perfectly even. You just want the difference for your arms and legs, right to left, to be less than a pound. So for both of you, because your left arms didn't fit in the scan field, it's not going to give you a number because it can't tell exactly. For your legs, Stephen, you've got the problem. You got 1.8 pounds more muscle in your right leg than your left.
Damn.
Then you just have 7/10. Yeah, I know
Look
you
at that
can't tell by
beast.
looking.
Oh,
Skinny little.
what are you doing, left leg? Beast.
And Stephen, you have 7/10 of a pound more in your left leg. So your left leg is stronger. The reason you want that number to be under a pound is because your body distributes the fat so you look even. No one's looked at you and said, wow, you got 2 extra pounds of muscle in that right leg. But you do. And muscle by volume weighs a lot more than fat by volume. So anytime you're walking, running, doing anything with your legs, you're putting a strain on your spine because you're keeping more weight on that right side. So you want to even that out. So when you are
Interesting.
working out, keep that in mind.
Get your-
Do some single leg left stuff. You can use some single leg right stuff. But you're
Gotcha.
under the 1 pound, so it's good. Now the trunk number doesn't need to be under a pound. We see those up to 5 pounds, one side or the other. It's usually a left number, both of yours are, because we have more organs on the left side of our body. But if you test again and that number changes significantly, just remember that your whole digestive system lives in your trunk. So depending on where food is in your system, it's going to skew that number.
Gotcha.
I call that the where's the food baby number. Then
Left.
here's the second comparison page. So right now you just have random plot points, which aren't real helpful. This is what it'll look like over time. It's going to track your lean in pink and your fat in black. And then down below, it'll give you your changes in body fat percentage. So for you guys, it just gives you your body fat percentage. So Steven's overall is at 33.8 and Ben, you're at 39.7. Then it gives you the breakout by body part, so you can see how your fat is distributed. If you test again with us, the changes it gives you, so like here when Milt's up 0.4, that's percent. Everything on this page will be in a percentage, so you can see where you lost the biggest percentage or where you added the biggest percentage, because losing a pound of fat from your arms is a significantly higher percentage, obviously, than losing a pound of fat from your trunk.
Gotcha.
Then we've got a big copy of the picture, so you can look at that in infinite detail and see where all the red is.
We do.
Okay? Just what you always wanted.
Lots of red.
Lots of red. And yes, even in your feet. You have fat everywhere
Damn it,
you have
feet.
skin. Yeah. You need the fat, otherwise your skin would rip as it moved. All right, and then the last comparison page, so the last useless page for you. So it's going to track over time for you changes in total mass. So that's basically like the scale weight. It's fat, lean, and bone combined, but it's going to break it down and show you your changes over time in your arms, and then in your legs, and then in your trunk.
Pretty amazing.
That's
It
pretty
is.
sweet.
So it's fun to come back and see
Yeah,
the
it is.
changes.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
it's actually, the second test is a lot more fun to see what you've accomplished.
Yeah.
Then this page
Yeah, I'm
is going to have all your data for this test all in one place. So I'll just go column by column and explain each one. The tissue percentage of fat is the fat compared to lean with no bone in the calculation. Region percent fat, that's your body fat percentage. And the easy way to remember that that's the body fat percentage is it's the lower of the two numbers. And if we'd have to choose, right, we'd always choose the lower number. So
Mhm.
and this time it works to our advantage. It really is the lower number. Tissue is everything except bone. Fat is just fat. I'm going to skip over lean for a minute and go to BMC. That's bone mineral content, so that's just bone. Then back to lean. Lean is everything that isn't fat or bone. So lean is muscle, cartilage, tendons, organs, water weight, anything in your digestive system, and hair. All of that's under lean. So if you test again and your lean drops, you guys, your height, it could be easily in the 3.5 to 5 pound range. It could be muscle, but it could also be a change in hydration level or a change in what's in your digestive system or a combination of those things. So don't stress out over small fluctuations in lean. But whatever the change is in fat, whether you're up a pound or you're down 10, that number is pure and it's exact. It is just fat.
Gotcha.
And then the last page of the report is just your bone density again, but it gives you the readings for each individual body part so that you've got that information as well. And this is a good page to print and just share with your primary care physician just so they've got that information.
Steve's head is super dense.
Actually,
But we knew that. We didn't need a
Fiance, yeah.
scan. We didn't need a scan for that.
his is about average. Heads range between 2 and a 3, so he's kind of in the middle.
Gotcha.
Yours is more on the light end, so if you're going to do something stupid, you should wear a helmet. Okay?
I always do.
That's the mom in me,
I
okay?
always do.
All right, good. So that's your
What's your
DEXA report.
Beat me in the pants.
All right, so I've already emailed the results to you. You'll have 2 attachments. One's your DEXA report and one's an explanation page. So it goes over everything I went over, plus it has a little additional information like healthy ranges and things like that for you.
Awesome.
Okay?
Well, great. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. Appreciate it.
Sure. Also, in the body of the email are offer codes, so if you do want to retest, you can do it at a discount. It won't work for the 2-person one, but it's cheaper to book 2 one-persons using the code.
Gotcha.
So save yourself some money.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Okay?
All right.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Fat. We are fat.
Colin, you're not gonna